What do you think Big Rig has come to represent? And I'm sure there's some people, whenever you hear of a craft brewery being taken over by a bigger company, that there's concerns that somehow maybe they're going to lose some of that identity.
Right.
What's the future of the Big Rig brand in this new relationship?
Yeah, totally fair question. One of the things that Foodtastic, when we were having our preliminary meetings, that's what I asked them. Why Big Rig? And it's because they love what we do and they love our brand. And so that's why I decided to stay, is because nothing changes. We got here because of what we did and what we've done and what we'll continue to do. So for me, my philosophy in beer, when we first started, people's palates maybe weren't as developed as they are now. So, we've got to make a little bit more broader range. And, our restaurants are 300 seats. We need to make sure that we're making beer that's is going to appeal to a lot of different people. So now that we've moved into that and moved along with the demographic of beer drinkers, they're more educated, so we can expand into more things. So for me, I've always, focused on quality. Using good ingredients, using, it's a bit of a cliche now, but time-honored traditions. These are things that I was taught by an old English brewmaster, and he was taught by the people who wrote all the manuals in the 30s and 40s. And that's not BS. It's about having respect for what you're doing and for your finished product, not cutting corners and doing things properly.
It's interesting to me too. Whenever I get the chance to experience a new brand, or just keep going through what an old one has established as kind of like their benchmark brews.
Yeah.
What was the strategy behind Big Rig? Like you said, you want to make sure that you've got those beers that are going to apply or at least appeal to a wide range of customer.
Yeah.
A lot of people find it difficult to kind of get into that craft beer space, and right away are like, it's almost like
it's
wine. It's like too much for me to try and figure out. What's been the strategy in terms of the types of brews that you had, and if that will change going forward?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I like to make beers that I can be proud of and I want to drink. So that's sort of level one, and it's important to me, and I like all sorts of beers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, hey, I only drink hazy IPAs. Yeah. I love hazy IPAs, but sometimes I want a Pilsner. I want a nicely crafted 30-day Pilsner. Yeah. It's all over the map. For me, it's part of the experience of what you're having. So, having a core lineup that sort of hits those, there's sort of some tried, tested, true.
Yeah.
You've got your light, easy drinker, you've got your IPA, you've got your amber, you've got your brown, you've got your stout. That's history all over the States, and that's what people sort of open with.
Yeah.
And then to expand on that and to bring in new, interesting things over and above that has always been there. Moving forward, obviously looking at new markets. There are some beers that I make for the Ottawa area that sell like crazy.
Yeah.
But if I try to put that in London or in Toronto and in different marketplaces, it doesn't sell as well. So really, with today's market, I find that I need to make slight adjustments into even the microcosm of Ontario of doing that. So, if we're looking at, we're selling beer in other provinces now, but we're about to go into Quebec, obviously. So one of the things there is, okay, well, what is the consumer like there? What is the knowledge level? And now, I'm not going to say, look at, okay, what are the most popular beers and recreate it. It's like, where do we find ourselves in there? How do we want to build our name within those demographics? And I think that's just a realistic global view. If you go to Czech Republic, the IPA scene might not be as advanced as it is in, say, Nevada or in Ottawa even. So you really have to look at where you're going and make slight adjustments. And I don't think that that's pandering to the crowd. To me, that's a smart business.
Right.
And why not? If I can make every day a new style of beer, for that, to me, that's what it's all about. Waking up in the morning, thinking about the style of beer we want to make, figuring out the flavor profile, sourcing the ingredients, brewing it, and that satisfaction after it's all done,